Hey YouTube, it's your girl Style Junkie, and I'm back with a wig making tutorial and a Ali Pearl hair unboxing. So this is the frontal, and I had 18-inch frontal, 22 through 28-inch bundles, which I'm showing now. And the frontal came packaged like this. It was a pre-tinted frontal where the lace was tinted, so, and it was pre-plucked as well. It wasn't a very natural hairline, but being pre-plucked, it was cool. The knots were not bleached, but look at the lust on the hair. The hair was beautiful. All the bundles, all the hair looked exactly like the frontal. So we're gonna get into making this wig. I just took a mesh spandex dome cap and I lined up the frontal with the edge of the part by the ear, or where your ear flap would be. I lined that up so there is a frontal hanging over the cap. So I just took some thread. I don't use regular cotton black thread, and I just started sewing through the band. I don't sew all the way through the band of the cap, but I sew through the band of the lace frontal and just keep doing I stitch, and then I take the needle through the loop of the pre-stitched threading, if that makes sense. But you can see me crossing it a little bit. So I'm going to a top angle so you can see better. It's better lighting. And you can see how I'm doing the thread. So I loop through, and it's already a loop when you putting it through. So I just put it through that hole, make that knot, and keep sewing. I'm sewing in an upward motion. And my wig block, if you're seeing something shiny under there, my wig block is covered with saran wrap to keep the canvas head from becoming moldy or anything. But now I'm just sewing the hair. All the wefts were doubled until I got to the top. So I'm sewing from under so I can have a little bit of versatility whether I want to move the hair. Because I find if I sew from the top, I don't know, it just seems like it doesn't work that well. But this weft is double, and I am doing the fold over method for this unit. And I'm just showing you how I close up the top. So throughout the back, you just want to go left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right, until you get to the top. And I am going from the frontal part to the other side of the frontal, going back and forth. So what you want to do is go through the back of that lace frontal, through the cap, and through the weft. That might seem like it's a lot, but you're making sure that that is connected. So you're gonna pull that through and loop it. And if you feel like it's not secure enough, you can go back and do an additional threading, which I am going to do towards the end of this video. So I'm just gonna go through the weft, through the cap. Make sure you pick up a little bit of that cap, and then loop that thread over that needle to create a knot or some type of secureness to it. And I'm using a pen or pens. You can use T-pens. I just use these regular sewing pens. And you see knots do happen, so take your time, stick that needle through there, and go to lift that knot up, which I'm still doing. You just want to make sure that you constantly are picking up some cap when you go through there, and you just want to go. Now I'm sewing, still sewing from the bottom of the width, and right now this is single track. I start singling it once I get to a certain point. I was on my last bundle at this point, and that was a 22-inch bundle. So I'm just going back and forth, and you see I have 4 or 5 needles that I have already threaded. I would encourage you to pre-thread your needles, so when you're sewing, you can just go ahead and keep going. You don't want to have to keep stopping. So I think total I probably had like 10 of these needles threaded, and I like to use the jumbo C needle. I feel like it gives me more leeway, more space. I don't know, I just like to use them, but I'm still using the fold over method. I did not cut any of these widths except for when I was ending it. Oh, except when I was after I closed up the wig. So I'm still folding it over. Okay, I lied. I could cut because I didn't want it I didn't want it to be bumps at the top. So I did cut, I think it was the last 2 widths I cut. But I did bleach the knots on this video, on this frontal, and you can check that out. I will be linking that below. But I am showing you how I close it up. So I'm going through the band on the frontal, through the cap, through the weft, and making sure that I do that for each individual stitch on this last weft to close up my frontal unit. So I'm showing you again. I'm going through, I think I went through the weft twice. You want to make sure you don't have any hair that gets tied up into that. And you want to make sure you pull it tight. So I'm going around the weft this time, through the cap, and then through the band on the frontal. So I go through the wefts on the ends when I'm closing up or when I'm folding over, and it's just to make sure that that part is actually secured down to the cap. So you see me looping around the needle. Do you see that? Creating that knot there. I'm going to pull that taut. And then this is me closing it up. That's the last little piece there. So when you're ending or closing a wig up, you want to make sure you go through that weft, and then I typically go through about 2 or 3 times to do that. And then just comb it out. And you see how flat that's laying? This flat. So I'm just showing you on the sides where me folding over and I was leaving spaces in between. So I just want to make sure that all that's connected and to close up some more of the gaps just to ensure that the unit fits properly. So I'm going through the weft, through the band on the frontal, and I'm going to make a knot, and I'm just going to work my way up doing that. And this is optional. You don't have to do that. I did this because I used the fold over method, and I did not want to cut all of my wefts, because if in the event that I want to take this unit down and make another one, there's a lot of pieces to be piecing back together. So I did this to ensure that my fold over parts, the places that I fold the hair over, that it laid flat. So I'm going through that weft, through the cap, through the band on the lace frontal, and then tying a knot, knotting it, and just make sure that's all flush. I'm just going to continue doing that, and your wig should be complete. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe,